Women don't know what they want, so...
I am Mekan, the contentpreneur, and today I'm advocating for feminism. Women should not go to school, they should stay in the house, their place is in the kitchen.
My name is Chapnik from Chapnik Pictures, and I am an advocate for the happiness of women. Say if men decided that you guys don't have those rights anymore, what would you do? You have to appeal to the patriarchy to protect your rights, right?
I'm not going to accept that.
More often than not.
I think we should move past this because this is...
You don't want procreation to be done out of marriage. You don't want teen mothers.
So are you condemning single parents?
Most of the degenerates in the society come from broken homes.
We're in different seasons. I might be in the season where, okay, pushing my career is the most important for me. You might be in the season where marriage is more important for you. But in this time and age, I think that there are more things to value before getting down to a line of marriage.
And do you think women are happier now when they are more educated, or some people would even say overeducated, as compared to when they were less educated? Because I don't even believe that they were less educated before.
When a man says, I'm trying to figure out myself now and I will get married later on, it's fine. When it's a woman, they start telling you about your peaks, your peaks in your 23 to 30.
So do you think life is all about happiness? It's about...
Yes, life is all about happiness.
So what about sacrifice though?
Men went out, they sat together, they drank and everything. Women toiled, they saw, they brought food to the table, they fed the household. Women are just getting more recognized right now.
Who do you think live a harder life in general? Men or women?
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another interesting episode on the E-Report channel. Please, today is very, very interesting because in the house today we have two guests, not just one. On my left, we have Megan, the contentpreneur. On my right, we have the man behind the cameras that we never see, but today we have with us in the studio, Mr. Chapnik of Chapnik Pictures. So we've had a similar debate like this before when we talked about feminism. I was the feminist talking with a friend of mine who is an anti-feminist, but today it's a bit different. We're going to listen from our speakers on their points concerning feminism, and you see why this debate is actually very interesting and different. So over to ladies for gentlemen, right?
Yes.
Ladies for gentlemen.
Hello everyone, I am Mekan, the contentpreneur, and today I'm advocating for feminism.
All right. So we have
All right.
we have the left side of feminism, and now let's listen to the man behind the camera who never speak today.
Wow. Well, recently I'm putting myself on the internet, so whatever. So my name is Chapnik from Chapnik Pictures, and I like to say that I am a free mind, I'm a curious mind, and I am an advocate for the happiness of women. Now, I don't know how it is going to be, how women are going to take what I'm going to say, but I can assure you from the get-go that I want the happiness of women. So yeah. But then again, I think we're talking about this discussion. The way that it all came about was I saw a status on Mekan's status. I saw Mekan's status, and it was a video of a C-section. Well, par ailleurs, I am a medical doctor, a trained medical doctor, and so when I saw that and I saw the caption she wrote, I think the caption was something like, this is the kind of suffer that women are suffering to bring children into this world. And for all the men who do not see the woman as bringing anything of value or something like that, we should be able to see that and know that this type of suffer that women are passing through, women need to be treated like queens and all of that. And it actually started a conversation where when I saw that, I was like, to me, it looked like a very normal video, because it is it's something that we see a lot in hospitals. But I think to the normal person, to the normal eye, it might seem very gruesome. It might seem very, very painful, of which it's like the painless thing that a woman can actually go through. That is a C-section. That's like the most painless way of giving birth is through a C-section. Yeah, and it's like even a lot more safer these days. So let's not talk about when it actually started. But that's a very painless way, and she was using that to kind of show how hard the lives of women are. And so I asked her, who do you think lives a harder life? Do you think men live a harder life, or do you think women live a harder life? Because to me, looking at that, it actually, if you actually think about it, I think it will probably be an easier thing to go through a C-section than actual delivery. So
I think so too.
but now, I ask you again, who do you think live a harder life in general, men or women?
I think everybody knows my stand. Women. Women do have a harder life than men do because most of the things women go through are inflicted on them by the system that we live in and men, right? So let's start, for example, the whole system. The laws are made by men and they impact women more. For example, it was said that women should not go to school. They should stay in the house. Their place is in the kitchen and patati patata, right? But now we see these very men fighting against the same laws that they made. Why can't we do 50-50? Like, at one point, I feel like it's contradictory. You guys will say, let's do this. And at another point, you're now like, what if the woman works? She can also come and contribute in the house. Meanwhile, first of all, these rules were created to keep women in the back. They're like, no, she has to stay in the kitchen. Men have to go and men are the ones who have to put themselves forward, get the big roles, go to school. So right now we are at a point where in primary schools we have like almost equal enrollment of both genders, female and male. But when you move coming up to secondary schools, we realize that we have less enrollment from the female gender, which means that it's biased. More males are getting their secondary education and finishing up, and let's continue down even to higher education, right? And this impacts the society and the homes in general, because you come to a situation where we have like increased rates of poverty because the lady got married when she was 13. In the world currently we have 40%, an increasing 40% of young women getting married at a very tender age, right? So when they get married at a very tender age, and then it increases their child risk and mortality rate, maternity mortality rate, because you're young and so you have to go through the pain of giving birth, which puts your life in danger and the life of the child that you're carrying in danger. So you guys, the both of you might lose your life at that point. What did I want to add? That's it for health.
I just want to say that you have touched a bit of many things. I know, but maybe we should think about the fact that women are a lot more educated now, right? Would you say, I'm probably thinking you will probably say that it is a better thing for women to be educated now than before? You said that before they were not as educated because of the way that men made the laws, and they made the laws in order to keep women in the kitchen and all of that, and that was actually non-beneficial for the women. But now, would you say they are over-education now? Because I'm guessing they're getting a lot more educated, right? Would you think they're over-education now and getting into the job market and all of that? Do you think it has been better for women, or it has been objectively worse for women?
I want to answer your question. Are you saying that? Ask me the question.
As in, do you think women are happier now when they are more educated, or some people would even say over-educated, as compared to when they were less educated? Because I don't even believe that they were less educated before. Do you think that is probably where we will talk about the difference between education and schooling? I think now they are probably over-schooled, which is probably what you're talking about. Would you say that the women now will have over-school and much education?
If they're happier.
If they are happier as compared to before, when there was less of that?
Okay, yes, I will argue that women are happier now that they've left the kitchen. For, let's assume, not a greater percentage, right? But some of them have left the kitchen. Some people had to put their lives on the line to fight for this, for what for what you guys call feminism and defining in all sorts of ways, right? I think women are happier because they fought for these rights. They woke up in the morning and said, okay, we're tired of being behind. We want to be put in front, we want to be pushed forward, we want to go to school, we want to own jobs, we want equal rights. So how do you mean you fought for all of that and then you reach here and then you say you're not happy? We are happier.
So what would you say objectively makes them happier?
First of all, the fact that they too can be seen. We're all human beings. We want to be valued for who we are and not because of the perception that people have or society have about us, right? So I can come here, I can get the job done, I can get paid for it. Like, I'm actually being appreciated for the person that I am, and everything that I've been through. Maybe going to school, studying, and now I can actually like bring out results, right? And I'm appreciated for that. I'm happy about that. So that's value.
Right. Would you say women do a lot more work now than before?
A lot more work in what sense?
Well, since they have gone to school, they need to get into the job market. They are looking for the same jobs that men are looking for, right? So there's all of that competition. It's not just, they are no longer docile as we like our women.
I would argue that women have always been doing a lot.
Well,
Women have always been doing a lot. Like, if you go back to read books, way back in the 90s, in the 80s, the men went out, they sat together, they drank and everything. Women toiled, they saw, they brought food to the table, they fed the household. Women are just getting more recognized right now. Not that they are doing more, they are actually doing more, right, to get the recognition that they deserve. And they've always been doing, but now they have to do more to get the recognition, in quotes. So, what did you say again? What did you ask again?
no, that they are doing a lot more work now. And maybe when I talk about work, it's not domestic work. Domestic work is different from the work that we do to look for money.
Yeah, I'm talking about even the money part. The women might even be doing the same job with the meals, but they don't get the same salary. Like, you see that the woman will be getting a lesser wage than the one of the meal. Meanwhile, they are consequently doing the same work.
Yeah, well, I think that's a little bit off. Even though I don't even believe that women are paid less than men, but then again, that's something else. But I just wanted to show that, or to make you to probably come to the point that if you are doing a lot more work, in fact, I'm sure that we are going to agree that domestic work and work to make money is on two different levels, right? The work to make money is a lot harder than domestic work.
I will not totally agree.
Well, if she's an engineer, she can tell us how those who do pavements, those who are working in offices or whatever, not in air-conditioned offices where you are writing the whole day, but actual work. The garbage men, the taxi men, right? The bike riders. Funny enough, when I was in Douala one time, I saw one woman who was doing Yango.
I've seen that too.
So all that work is a lot harder than taking care of the children in the house, cooking for your husband, even going to the farm, right?
The audacity of you to think that it's a lot easier because you're not in their shoes, right?
Would you objectively? So you think
This is the labor that this is the labor or the work that women do that cannot be
remunerated?
Yes, exactly. So people don't actually value it that much. What if you had to actually pay for a nanny, pay for a cook, pay for somebody who wash your clothes, wash your dress, do your laundry? You start being like, okay, this work that this woman is doing is actually a lot of work. Take care of the kids, manage the household. I feel like this is a full-time job, and if you're doing this and working again at the same time, you're on both ends.
You know, there's a video online which shows the type of work that men do. And for you to, like, you see the men who are working in sewage, like our people of Hizaka.
Yes.
The work that they do. You see, even the work that taxi men do. I think we have had a few taxi men here where when they come back from the house, they cannot move any of their body because their whole body is aching and everything. Men who are working in oil rigs, for example, men who are working on NAO, on skyscrapers, men who are doing the building, men who are doing the electricity, who are keeping our electricity moving. All of that work I don't think we would look at that and look at domestic work in the house, where for the most part, what are you really doing? Is it washing dresses? That is, what's the hardest work to do in the house? Is it washing dresses or, I don't know, drying them? Which is...
I think because you sent the question to me that since I'm an engineer, I
Mhm.
want to comprehend it too. Just interject a bit.
Mhm.
For me, personally, I think it's the frequency. Because definitely being an engineer, being on site is totally different from maybe washing dresses or
Mhm.
definitely
Or doing
it's more
domestic work.
stressful on the site. But then again, it comes to the frequency of the domestic labor itself, because there are certain duties that I think the man can have at home that could be more stressful than my job, my work on site on this. So that's my point. I think just because the question was thrown to me, I say
But in general, though, because we are not really talking about specifics here, we are talking about in general. That's what was
on
kind
a
of...
more regular case.
Yes, in general case.
Then mostly it's the works that
Right.
hard labor.
Because, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now, if you actually put the works together and you actually look which one is... But then my point is that, okay, after we have known that, the work that we actually have to do to outside, to work for money and all of that, is way harder than domestic work. Now the women decided that they want to come and do this work that the men have been doing to shield them. Wouldn't you think that they will become a lot more stressed, a lot more unhappy, a lot more tired, and all of that, because they have had to go into that type of labor?
I'll argue that if I want to work in 9 to 5, right?
Yeah.
In my case, if I want to work in 9 to 5, I will not dedicate myself to taking care of the household again on my own. That would be like too much for me. So it's either I will take care of the household for this amount of time because I want my kids to get the quality education from me, right? And then go back to work while somebody else takes over. I will not do the two.
Yeah, well, anyway, my point actually is that getting into the workforce is going to be a lot harder on the woman than doing domestic labor or doing domestic work. That is why, I think that is why, if I may be bold to say, that is why when the men were making those laws to leave the women, to get the women be at home, what were they doing at home, you know? They sit, they relax, they do laundry here, they kongosa, they make nyanga, you know, so that when the men came back, they were able to give them small massage, you know, so that in order to recharge them, for them to go back out there to fight for them and keep them and keep them very, you know, feminine, in their feminine energy, like you guys like to say, right?
Okay,
So,
what about when the women decide now, okay, we want the positions that you guys are having, we want the parliamentarian rules. What happened?
which is all good.
Which is all good, but what happened? We saw that there was a tendency where there were less women in power, very, very few. Like you can check, 1 or 2, right? Very few women in power, and consequently, I feel like, okay, if now the women decided that they want the power, right? They should be given to them equal rights and equal positions, same wages with the men. But that's not what happened.
But the thing is, it is all good that they want all of that. What I'm just saying is that it makes them unhappy. It makes them a lot more tired.
I think we should end this prompt at this point in time. I've been on it for a while, but I think something came up when you guys were talking about. I think we should maybe bring to the table concerning salaries for men and women.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you believe women are paid more than men.
No, he mentioned that he believes that they were equal. He does not believe that it's a thing.
Actually, I believe that it's kind of the same. It's just that there are many different factors that will let women be paid less than men in some cases.
Statistics say that women's wages are significantly lower than men in Cameroon.
Now, let me ask you, do you think if a man and a woman were going in for the same job, right? And they got into the interview, and they were like, what do you want as salary? Who do you think is going to give a higher salary? Who do you think would be more assertive in that setting to be like, I'm going to get this, if not, I can go. If you don't give me this, then you can look for someone else. What do you think is going to be more assertive like that in general?
The woman.
Do you think so?
Yes. I'm that audacious.
Well, we are not talking about. I know that you are an iron lady. You are a hustler, but I'm talking about in general.
Okay, let's assume that it's the men. Let's assume.
Are we assuming? Are we concluding?
No, we don't. We all know that the men are a lot more assertive like
Please,
that.
guys, if you agree that it's the men, just leave that in the comments. I think it's women putting that in the comments. Because at this point in time,
Well, men are a lot more assertive at work. That's for sure. Men are going to do a lot more hours at work. We are speaking in general here. I know that
times have changed.
I know that.
Not about me.
I know that you
changed.
are. I know that you are a very hard worker. I know that you work 24/7. You probably even work more than I do, right? But we are speaking about it in general. In general terms, if you had to go to a workplace and you asked who are those who are going to ask for more sick days, and I think studies have been done about this, but even though I cannot cite them right now, women would generally ask for more sick days. Of course, you guys are fragile, right? So it's
not
normal.
Fragile. Let's say maternity leave.
Yes, it's paternity leave was really never a thing till progressives took power. But yeah, you see, she doesn't even know there's paternity leave because it's not really a thing.
okay.
It's not, especially in our context, it's not really a thing. But there's maternity leave, and everybody knows maternity leave. If you don't even give maternity leave, that's the whole thing, right? So I think in general, if you actually look at it in general, women have the tendency of not doing as much work as the men. In general,
That's a perception. I don't believe.
But if you took 100 men and you took 100 women, what do you think it's more likely that those 100 women are going to do more work than the 100 men?
We just have different sectors where we outperform, but women do more of the work.
Can you give me a sector in which you know for sure that women do more work than men?
Maternity.
Well, maternity. It's in the name, right? It's in the maternity. It's right there. It's in the name, right? So
right there.
I'm talking about something which is more comparative between a man and a woman. Is there any sector that you know of that if you had to compare a man and a woman's amount of work, is going to be mostly women?
I don't want to put that like that.
Okay, let's try and take a few that is done by this.
Office work. Let's say office work. A papeterie.
Yeah, office work. So
we can then be on the same line.
You think so?
Yes.
You know, in papeterie they have all of these. Who are the ones who are fixing the machines when they break down?
Strictly office. Let's say strictly office work. Where you do? Let's project management.
so you see that you really have to think about it and really carve out something for it. Let me probably help you out. I think women work a lot more in modeling. If you see male models and female models, there are a lot more female models, and female models are really put through the ringer more than male models work, because modeling is all about beauty and stuff, and the staple for beauty is really women. So I think most of that, but when you start to, that is really one that you would see, well, there's a whole disparity. And when you are even talking about pay, you will not tell me that male models make more than female models. And why is that? Because female models work a lot more than
because that's the industry which they're found in, right? That's why I say that we cannot really draw a straight line, because there are sectors where female will overperform, and then there are sectors where male will overperform.
Now, my point is, people get paid according to the value that they bring, according to the amount of work that they bring. But in a case where most men are the ones doing most of the work, of course they are going to be paid a lot more. And of course, if they are more assertive, they are going to ask for more. So at the end of the day, it's really about choice, right? If there were two people in the same position, and there was a chance for promotion, who do you think is going to be the first person to put down his foot to be like, I want this promotion? More likely than not, it is the man. You know, women don't want to ruffle feathers, right?
I'm not going to accept that.
More often than not.
I think we should move past this because this is...
Okay.
Is it, do women really want to ruffle feathers?
Yes, in this time and age, yes. That's why we have like the feminists in their different types and extremes.
You know, all women are not feminists, right?
Yeah, I would agree.
Most women are still just women. And
which I think is very, how can I say, let them be their people, but I think it's very hurting because the very rights that they have access to today were fought by the women who fought for those rights, the feminists.
Say if men decided that you guys don't have those rights anymore, what would you do? Or what would women do? The rights that you said that the women fought for.
Oh, we keep fighting.
You know, before women got those rights, they had to appeal to men.
Yeah.
For the men to give them the rights, right? That means they had to be advocated by
we're already
men.
in a very patriarchal society.
Well, yeah, but you know, your rights cannot be protected if the patriarchy doesn't exist, right? You know, the patriarchy has to protect your rights. You have to appeal to the patriarchy to protect your rights.
Which is unfair.
All right, now I think I'm going to move to a different topic. I think one that is more interesting, I think, to ask. Let's move into of marriage.
Okay.
Marriage. So, what do you believe? Let me start with Seneca. Do you believe that marriage should be a priority for women?
Well, well, I want to start by saying that one of the backbone of human society, the backbone of human development is a nuclear family. We all know that. And in order for us to have a nuclear family, you need to have a father, you need to have a mother, and you need to have children. The only people who can carry the next generation is women. The people who have the charge of, especially in their early years and their formative years, to take care of them, and they are actually built for it naturally, God-given, is women. And so if you just look at that, you should probably say, but well, the role is made for them, right? It's like something which was given to them from birth. And so women should prioritize having this nuclear family and bringing forth the next generation in order for civilization to survive, in order for the human species to survive, right? Because we cannot survive if you are not making more of us, right? And so what would be the most ideal way of going about that is through marriage, it's through the institution of marriage. And marriage is commitment between a man and a woman with of course, with the intention of bringing forth the next generation, nurturing them to continue our human race, right? So, to me, it should be a given. That's a natural way for women to go. That's the way that it has been set up by nature. And so, women should prioritize marriage. But while I say that women should prioritize marriage because of all the reasons that I've given, I'm not so sure that that is what is happening nowadays, which I think is sad for our generation, especially.
Okay, let's just let that. I think that's your standpoint. Women should prioritize marriage. So, Megan, what do you think about that? Should women prioritize marriage in this day and age?
No, clearly not. What is marriage? Marriage is a union between a man and a woman who love each other, and with God in the middle, decide to come together. And then, the consequence of marriage now, we have kids. Consequently. So, I say no Because there are a lot of things to take into consideration in this time and age before getting married. We are all in different seasons of our life, and some people have decided not to get married at all. Even the Bible states that not everybody is going to get married, and that's fine, right? So we're in different seasons. I might be in the season where, okay, pushing my career is the most important for me. You might be in the season where marriage is more important for you. But in this time and age, I think that there are more things to value before getting down to a line of marriage. For example, stating out your purpose for why you're getting married. I don't think we should just rush into marriage like that. That's why we have more failed marriages coming up nowadays, which is very recent. And then secondly, we have personal development and growth, right? All of these things which you have to work on yourself as a person before involving another person and children, because I believe that if you do not work on yourself and then grow emotionally, mentally, and everything that involves emotional maturity, right, your children are going to tap in from the negative energy that you have, right? So it should be like a healthy person and another healthy person coming together to nurture children in a healthy environment, not people who maybe are stemming from pain and trauma and will subconsciously pass that down to their kids. So I think in this time and age, right, there are things to consider or to along the line before including marriage.
I actually think that's one of the main things for one of the main reasons why people should get married is for procreation, because that is the most optimum way to procreate and to raise the next generation, right? But just like as I was saying, as you can see, Megan doesn't think that women should get married. Women should make it a priority to get married. And that is fine. It's fine to think that it is not a priority. But then, if it is not a priority, what do we do about the human species? Do you want us to get extinct? Because if you are not prioritizing marriage, actually,
marriage is not procreation. People not prioritizing marriage does not mean that they will not prioritize procreation. We have a large number of premature births by teenage, which is still procreation. If it's procreation,
that's a problem, right?
Right.
That's a problem. It's not. You don't want. Ideally, you want procreation to be in
a healthy environment.
Well, in the form of a marriage, and the most healthy environment for procreation should be marriage, right? You don't want. You don't want procreation to be done out of marriage. You don't want teen mothers.
So are you condemning single parents?
It's not about condemning single parents. I wouldn't say I condemn single parents. I'm just saying marriage is more ideal to have children in.
I've seen people grow up from broken homes just because the parents believe that, oh, if we're not together, it's going to hurt the child and all of that. And I've seen healthy kids come out from single parents and single homes.
Well, yeah, there are healthy kids who come out from single homes and all, but it is not optimum, right? It is not the optimal way to have and bring up children. And we talk about studies from overseas and all, where those things get studied, shows that they did like a census of the population in prisons, and they found that the large majority of people who are in prisons actually came from broken homes, like you call it, like single mother homes and blah blah blah. So, just to say that most of the, I don't want to say degenerates in the society, come from broken homes, and which is kind of logical to say, because like I said, it is not the optimum way of raising the next generation, because a mother cannot be a mother and a father. A child needs the father and a child needs the mother. For the father to be a father and a mother is super difficult. It's even more difficult for the mother to be the mom and the dad. You would agree, right?
These are things that are doable, and people are actually doing it right now.
Well, yeah.
It might be hard, but it's possible. Maybe the only person responsible for the child as the mother and the father, but you have family around you. You're solely responsible, meaning that you cater for the school, financially, morally, and you're the primary primary caretaker of the child, yes, as the mother, the father, and everything. But they have family around them. They can also be with their cousins and all the like. But I'm saying that, don't get me wrong, that in this age and time, marriage should not be like the sole focus of, was it women? Women, yes. I think like there's so much that we can tap into, so much potential that we can tap into, and feel our minds and grow before jumping into the marriage perspective.
Now, I would say that for one of the things that I would usually say is,
because when women get into marriage, they lose themselves. Like maybe those who said they want. Clear example, I had this. We're watching this lady. She shared her story that before getting into marriage, she wanted to go to school, be a doctor, and all of that. But the moment she got married, her dreams were put beside. Like she actually still resents her husband till date because she was not able to complete her education as a medical doctor as she would have preferred. The thing is that women are so much nurturers and caregivers, and most times when they don't get to do these things before they get into marriage, they lose themselves because they get into marriage. They're like, okay, I have my husband to take care of, I have the kids to take care of, and they just forget about themselves. Like they keep on taking care of their kids, their children, their husband, their kids. And now you have the tendency of now the children have all gotten married and have left the house, so it's just left the husband and the wife. And now she starts to look at herself and be like, wait, did I really just put everything on the line and just get married like that? And then she starts looking at, I've been a medical doctor now. She starts to resent her husband like really heavily. So these things have like long-term consequences on both the man and the woman and her family.
Well, in fact, maybe I don't know how well you know the story, but what stopped her from getting back into the field of medicine after her children were grown?
It's not always possible. It's not always feasible in 70% of the case. 70 to 75% is not always very feasible.
But what's the difference in feasibility before she became a mother and after she became a mother? It's still the same thing. Right?
It's no longer the same thing.
Well, anyway.
You cannot take out a child is a lifetime responsibility. You cannot be like, okay, when I give birth, I'll just leave the child and then continue school.
No,
a child is a responsibility that you nurture till the day you leave, till the day you leave the earth.
When they are grown, like when they turn 18 and they are in the university or whatever, when they are
the dynamics are no more the same. I'm no longer 25. I'm no longer 27.
Why do you have to be 25 to be a medical doctor?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm no longer as young as before, right? And then other things might creep in because the child is 25. The child is 18. Don't mean that I finished school. They might be going to like schools where they're still like, how can I say? They're still under you. Are you understanding? Mm-hmm. They still need that care and that nurture that you give them. Mm-hmm. And as a mother, it's your natural instinct. Like the children are actually going to have to leave the picture, like actually like be in their own space before you now get to now come back and be like, okay, I actually wanted to go to school. I wanted to continue. Like, what stopped me? Do you see how the depth of it?
So there are two things, right? And this is where somewhere I feel for our women now because they have been sold this thing about get a career or this schooling and all of that, and they really want to do it, right? And they erroneously think, in my opinion, that the best time to do it is during their peak reproductive years, which I'm like, priorities, right? And also what makes me feel for that is that you have this strong desire of wanting to do this work that you really want to do, and all these things that you feel like you need to accomplish and all of this. And also, you also want a family. I would say the majority of women want to be mothers and they want to be families. And it also happens to be that the optimum time for women to have children safely and in the best conditions is during those same years that they want to become career women and all of that. Which is a thing where you need to choose one, right? It's either you choose your career and you forgo having children safely and have to confront all the things that will come with that after, or you choose children and you then have to push the career in front.
Yeah, but the idea that all women want to get married and have kids in that early age.
Not all,
is
not all,
wrong.
not all, not all, not all. I'm just talking about what is optimum.
Okay.
Right? The optimum time for women to actually have children is, from I think from 23 to like, around 29 before her 30s and all. Right? So that's a window that is there. I think after 30, there might be other complications that come in. Not to say that you cannot have children after 30.
Yeah.
That people even have children normally after 30, but that's not the norm. There are a lot more risks which are related to that. And so if you want to think about how the optimum way to go about it, to go about having children safely, of course, is during her peak reproductive years. I
think in the end, everybody will choose a life that makes them happy. If it makes you happy to have kids in your 30, go for your 30. If it makes you happy to get married later on, after you figure out yourself and everything. But why is this an issue for women? Why is this an issue? Because, okay, when a man says, I'm trying to figure out myself now and I will get married later on, it's fine. When it's a woman, they start telling you about your peaks, you're your peaks in your 23 to 30, this is the time where you have to do this, it will be best for you to do that. But when it is a man the other side, it's perfectly fine.
Well, men and women are different, right?
That's different, right? But it's still possible. So I think that everybody should be given like this free will, right? If I don't want to marry now, no problem.
Like I was saying, men and women are different. So men can give birth from now till.
You see, and now you start looking at women as if they're depreciating objects. Like, well, objects, we don't tend to depreciate with age. Like, we're human beings. So when it's put like this now, it's like you're depreciating as time passes. Every year, you're dropping. Meanwhile, we're all humans, right?
Unless
at this point, it's like we're being objectified. Well, if you don't give birth in your 20s to 30s, this happens, that happens. But if we're putting it on the male side, the perspective changes.
Well, I want us to look at it a little bit like this, right? Just look at it as in, how is it going to be optimum for me as the woman? Don't think about what about the men do, because whatever the men does, it doesn't really affect you like that.
Oh, but what I do affect them?
No, it doesn't really affect you like that. What you do affects you, right? Or what the woman does affects the woman, right? So I would be sad to see a woman who is like, I'm going to not have children now because my friend who is a man has decided that he does not want to have children at this age. But you guys are not the same. You are different people. You are different human. You are different, different species or whatever. Men and women are not the same. Men and women have different priorities. Right? And so, like I'm saying, what is optimum for a woman is not the same thing that is optimum for a man. So it is going to be detrimental really for anyone really if you are thinking, so how am I going to go forth with my life, and you're thinking, but what about the other gender?
So is this question of, is it okay for women to get married, to prioritize marriage in this space and time coming up because of the impact it has on them, or on the impact it has on the male? Because
on the impact it has on them.
With everything that you're saying is like, it's like everything that we are actually going to go through is not actually important, or it's not that significant, but what is going to have an effect on the other gender is more important. If women are deciding not to get married, not to prioritize marriage in this age and time, is for other reasons other than getting kids, a home, and all of that. And we should first of all try to look at it in their perspective. Like, if they don't want to get married now, it's probably because they have other goals that makes them happy. Human beings are drawn to what makes them happy. Like, they don't even care. Like, that one, we'll face that problem when it comes to that problem. But right now, what makes me happy is actually going and getting the bag, going to work. So
do you think life is all about happiness? It's about...
Yes, life is all about happiness.
So what about sacrifice though?
Sacrifice definitely is going to be on the line.
So right? what about the survival of our race?
The survival of rate is as well important, but you're not going to impose on somebody when to procreate and how to go about the survival of the race. Like that one, the equation of women is like 5:3 currently, right? So procreation is not really a problem, right?
Well, actually, because when we talk about these things, it's usually good that, because I think we are having this type of discussions here because, and it's all of this up and down, is that we have not yet started seeing the ramifications of what we are talking about. But we can look to elsewhere, to where some of these issues or some of these things have gone a little further. And we have that many of these countries, many of these more Western countries, who have like a reproductive rate of less than 1 even. They are unable to reproduce their population, and it's making they have real population decline. They're suffering from population decline now. If you see places like China, places like South Korea, right, and they have to resort to many other things in order to try and get that back up. And why is it? Is because women decided to choose their happiness than to save their race, because they want to be happy.
Are you saying that women choosing their happiness is having a more negative impact on the society as a whole?
Well, women deciding to choose their happiness is not their happiness, and I put that in quotes because happiness is a fleeting emotion. You can be happy today, tomorrow you are sad and everything, but if it is that fleeting emotion that you keep chasing, well, I think it's only going to lead to a lot of disaster and to a lot of anguish and to a lot of cat food.
Yeah, I think we can be closing this particular question for now, but I want you just to give me a final thought on this particular topic, because from what I've heard from both sides, I'm getting to see that it's great that women had the workforce, it's great that they have come to they're able to work, but also we're seeing a possibility that them actually being able to work may have just also added some frustration to them, how they go through life, because we cannot deny the fact that they want to have children, they want to build families, but like Nick pointed out, at the same age group, the same age time where they are looking to build a career, the same age time where they are looking to have children and build a home. So I think the question you are trying to answer is, are women supposed to drop the workforce so they can actually be effective in the other aspect of building home and building family? Or is there a possibility of handling the two properly for them? In fact, not just, I'm not talking about people that have money, I mean for the average woman. Is it possible for her to chase a career with full force and still maybe chase the aspect of having children and having a family? What do you think about that, Mekan?
I would say yes, because I've seen it happen in my milieu. My mom, right? Family, and handling both family and work together. So yes, it's absolutely possible. And that's what I have to say, yes.
Well, I would say it is absolutely possible, but it is not the most probable. What will most probably happen is that if you prioritize family, you would have to neglect work. If you prioritize work,
So are you telling us that
finally neglect family.
Men who are fathers and work, they actually neglect one side?
Well, like I said, men and women are different.
No, ask the question.
Right? Yeah, like I said,
Don't drag men and women into this.
Well,
answer the question.
You're talking about men, right? And family.
Yeah.
You would, of course, understand that the dad is not as home as the wife.
As family oriented or what?
The dad is not the one playing the whole day with the child. Why? Because he has to work to provide for that family in order for them to have the leisures that they have. So the man is going to have to work, and because he has to work as much, what he is giving up is the time that he is going to have with his children, and that is a huge sacrifice that he has to go through.
The women too are ready to make the sacrifice now.
It's not only his happiness.
I think that actually makes it quite interesting, because
Now we're also ready to
Are
give
we-
we want
I'm
to.
just saying, like I was moderator, guys. I'm trying to just get how you see it, because the question is it neglect or is it just sacrifice?
Why it is sacrifice and not neglect? Mostly because of what you have been saying the whole time. When women do it, they're doing it for their happiness. When men do it, they're doing it for the betterment of the family. Me versus I'm suffering for you guys.
I think
That's a
like
sacrifice.
most times they tend to put it like I'm suffering for you guys. Meanwhile, it's just a selfish way of hiding they're hiding their own interest behind it.
Don't you think that the men who are doing all of that, don't you think they would like to have more time with their children? Do you think they don't want to have all the time that they let the woman have with the children?
I've seen cases where men are very like how do they call it, avoidant towards their kids. Like even with the little free time that they're supposed to have, they're like, no, go meet your mom. They'll be like, go meet your mom, go meet your mom, go meet your mom the whole time. So that does not really give us the perception that they want to be with the kids.
So I think just ask the audience at this point to give some comments, because I don't really know, do men really like staying at home with their children? Do they want to spend more time with their children? When they go to work, do you feel like, I wish I could give up this work and just go and spend the time home with my kids? Like women can have that feeling sometimes, I think. Do men have that same feeling? Because I think that would tell us whether it's actually neglect or sacrifice. It's actually an interest in men to be at home and sacrifice the work. Then you actually be sacrificing their part to be at work, I guess. But if there is not actually an interest in the majority of men to be at home and take care of kids, then it's not going to be sacrificed, more just like neglect.
I can tell you for one
because
thing.
I brought up the issue of women going to work and not women going to work like the men, and it was neglect. And when the men said no, they want to be at work, they said it was sacrifice, they're sacrificing time to not to be with their kids. So the women who are going to work, they're not sacrificing time not to be with their kids or something.
It's about intent. You are prioritizing work because that is what makes you feel happy. That is what is going to fulfill your life, right?
But are we not in a situation where we are now in a society where men look at themselves and judge themselves based on their providing power? So if you're telling me that women are going to work because they like it and because they like it backed by their feeling of happiness in that moment, so men going to work and being able to provide for the family does not make them happy?
Of course, it is going to make them happy to see their family thrive because
so
of
do you
the
think
work
I'm going to work and then coming back and I'm not involved, I'm not interested in seeing my family happy anyway because I'm going to work?
No, that is, you have said two different things.
No, but let's look at it. It's not because I said it makes me happy to go to work. It also makes you happy to an extent. If not, you would have quit the job and stay home.
Oh, well, you know, there are so many men who are doing a lot of work that they absolutely hate. But what do?
They do it regardless,
They have
right?
to do it regardless.
But behind, I think like behind everything, right, people have to find like some sort of happiness. Maybe the happiness is not going to work, is providing for your family and seeing them happy. In the case of the women,
That's what I'm calling sacrifice, right?
Yeah, and
but the main reason
why is it neglect for women? My question is, why is it that when it's in your perspective is sacrifice, and when it changes now, like okay, it's over to the women, it's now neglect?
No, the main thing, just like you have said time and time again over this discussion, is about I want to fulfill my potential. I need to do something that is gonna give me this fulfillment, this happiness that you feel that you need to have.
I think everybody is looking for fulfillment as a human being.
And just like the example that you brought, the story that you talked about, this woman wanted to be a medical doctor, and because she sacrificed her career to take care of the children and take care of the house, she grew resentful for that sacrifice. The men feel thankful for that sacrifice because they can see you smile every day when they come back to the house and you don't lack for anything. That is the difference.
You don't think there's any case where there could be a resent?
She was not resentful.
For men, could there be a case where men could find like be resentful for sacrifices they make? Sometimes, you know.
Yeah, maybe I went to school more.
Well, I can tell you that the resent they probably feel is, I wish I was doing something that I really loved in order to be able to provide for this. So I wish I could put myself in the situation where I will be doing something that I love to put my family in the best of places. That would be the reason. But the reason wouldn't be against or driven towards the family for. It is because people are here. That is why I have to sacrifice this thing, which I think is a distinction from everything that we have spoken about and the example, especially the example that you got. And for one thing, we've been talking about medicine, and I don't want to say that I'm a medical doctor, but I studied medicine. I studied medicine, and I can tell you for a fact that even most of the women who are in the medical school, they are going to drop it they are going to drop all that medicine if they had the possibility of meeting the man of their dreams and building their life. And
that's biased.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you would agree with me that having children, I'm sure women say this a lot, having children is the best thing they could ever do. It's the best thing that ever happened to them.
That's because more people who express themselves about childbirth, I was like, oh, I'm happy to be a mom, and this. There's also the next side of people who be like, I do not want to go through childbirth.
Well, we are talking about the majority in this case.
But we cannot ignore the minority, because I'm here for the minority.
Well, the life doesn't work on minority. If we're thinking
so what are you trying
about
to
the
say?
minority, is that there's something in statistics that they call statistically what?
Okay, I think I get you now. But we cannot like totally ignore them, right? You're telling us that women that in the place where you think women are right now, they are like, I'm so happy to be a mom. Being a mom is everything. This marriage is everything. Like that's how you're coming across now.
Because it's literally the best thing that could happen to them, and I'm sure there are a lot of women who are going to reiterate that, as in being a mom is the best thing that ever happened to me. And if it is the best thing that could ever happen to you, of course they are going to drop anything they are going to drop anything in order to focus on the best thing that could ever happen to you.
Exactly.
And that is supported by women themselves. It's not just me saying it.
No, I support myself, okay? But now I want to know generally, and I want to take my man's perspective. I don't think I've ever asked this question, at least to have a mind to answer that question. What is it that men see as the best thing that could ever happen to them?
Seeing their family thrive because of their sacrifice.
Oh God, leave it at that. I want to see the men in the comments give us their own comments on what to them is the best thing that could happen to them. And we're going to end this particular panel today on letting each of our guests here, no, I can't really call you a guest, but well, I'm going to let each of them ask the other person a question and let them answer. Ladies for gentlemen.
That way first.
Okay. Ladies for gentlemen.
So, okay, let's just take ladies for gentlemen.
I wasn't really prepared for anything. A question for the men. I don't really have a question, but I would like that men should work on their values and how they perceive life. I feel like men are actually the weaker gender. And this might come across as really controversial, but this is like maybe an aside, right? I'm talking in terms of abuses and everything that happened to women, right? I feel like men really have to work on themselves, because with all the outrageous things that are happening, I can't really find a justification. So I really want to urge men to work on themselves in every aspect.
Okay.
I
have a question to ask, Megan.
If I even ask her a question, I would want to actually say that, first of all, for men do not stand with men that batter women. We actually consider those men very weak men.
Interesting.
Those are not honorable men.
Okay.
And one of the worst things as a man is to be a dishonorable man. You lose respect among your peers, and we see you like nothing. So, if it is for that, and by the way, those are not the type, you guys don't like those type of men, right? So when you see it, run. Oh.
I think we actually agree on one point.
I'll come to an agreement at this point.
And now your question.
But if I had to ask a question to make it's a two-pronged question.
Okay.
It's like,
Let's have it.
since we are in the month of love and everything, and we're just talking about marriage, and we have a lady, and I was talking about prioritizing marriage and all. I need to ask Megan if she's married, and if she's not married, when is she getting married?
Oh my God! I think we should cut the camera.
Yeah, no.
I necessarily have to answer.
let me say it. In fact, let me convince you to answer, because Megan, since I've known Megan, she's always very professional. She's a professional woman. She says that you people should not go into her DMs. If you want to go to her DMs, you should be sending her money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, it is also said that, especially at the workplaces, most people usually meet their spouses at the workplaces.
I don't want to meet my spouse in the workplace.
But statistically, that is the most likely place to meet your spouse.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes, and your workplace is kind of very atypical, because when you are working, most people who are there, they're not working.
Yeah, it gets me like a ton of people, and it has given me access to a lot of spaces, but I'm not saying anything.
So when are you getting married?
Oh no, I'm not married, and I'm not putting a date to that. So guys, there's no date yet. Please don't drag me.
So is it soon or?
It's not soon. Please. It's not soon. It's not soon.
The more important question here is why this question?
Yeah, very important. Like, why
That's
this question?
very important question.
Why
Because
this
People are always feeling like,
like-
okay, I think like I know why, because people always feel like I'm always speaking on the negative part.
No, it's like why not though? Like,
Okay, yeah, why not?
like why not? Megan is a beautiful girl. I'm sure there are many guys. I'm sure there are many guys who are in her DMs.
But we're not here for my DMs.
Why? No, there are many guys who are in her DMs and they're acting as if they want to be friends, but they don't really want to be friends.
No, like I feel like you know the guys.
Can you give us like more?
If you know the guys,
Bring their names.
you should come forward.
No, I'm
No,
sure,
come to this table.
Yeah,
Actually.
and also there's also something that says that most women have met their husbands, but they have decided that they want to be friends. You know them. If you thought about this guy, if there's a guy that you know that if you wanted to be treated like a queen, he definitely is going to do that for you. And he's probably in your DM somewhere, texting you.
If he's hiding, please let him
Funny.
continue hiding.
No, the thing is, you know, and he knows, and they know, right? So I'm just using this
They're using this medium too.
I'm just
It's like
using
somebody
this
sent
medium.
you. I think like somebody sent.
to speak for the guy.
If the guy is watching, please, nobody knows until I've said something.
No, we don't do assumptions here.
Nobody knows until I've said something.
Exactly.
So
It can be a DM from now to the 10 years later. If you have said nothing, yeah, bro.
just like she said, nobody knows until you have said something. So if you are in her DMs for business,
Please
or
don't
whatever,
send people firing shots at me. It will not be funny.
It's like it's gonna be very
It's gonna be like a clickbait. Like this is like a clickbait situation.
So don't be afraid to shoot your shots. We have known
Be afraid, please.
we have known that women don't know what they want. So
actually,
shoot your shots.
Oh my god, of course I do.
Do look at whether knows what you want.
Don't I look?
She does look at it, doesn't she? Ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah, no, don't hear that she said that don't send her DM. Send the DM. I give you the rights.
Is it
Send
for
it.
audacity?
Like that's why I say when you pray for audacity, pray for the one that men have, because someone just gave you like permission to DM me in my presence. Okay.
I need to know like where they say audacity for men. Like that store is really
But I'm going there.
top notch. I have to really go and get some from there.
No, so
So, oh my god, that was fun. Alright guys, I think we've come to the end of this particular episode. I personally love the discussion. Thank you so much, Becca, for joining us.
Of course, always.
I think I found a new friend. And more importantly, most importantly, I'm very happy to have Senike. I think I will tell this one. I see more on the camera than behind the camera. And finally, we'll have him with us here in the studio. Maybe I'm just having me more. Is that not so soon?
Anyways, like I said around the beginning, I've been putting myself out on the internet these days. I have
26 guys.
I have my own YouTube channel.
He does.
Which is Chapnik.
Why don't you check it out?
You should wait. It's not. I know many things there yet, but on that YouTube channel, we love our country, Cameroon, and
He
so
says he loves love.
and we love women.
Okay. Kudos for that. Kudos for that.
But let's circle back, I think.
And we of course want the best for women, so you should go and check it out and let's have fun. It's a fun place for me. So.
It is.
Ow.
It is actually. Alright, so before we're going to close this episode, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. And we're going to tell you how you can get to our very beautiful, very industrious Megan for those who are the DM and those who are the business.
For those in the business.
She said business. Business, please. So, Megan, please tell us how you can get to you.
For those in the business, you can get to me through Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and probably all social media platforms, almost all. I help brands and business owners strategically find their voice through visual art and content on the internet. Thank you.
And then you have it, Megan the Contemporary. I really like that name.
I like it.
Love it. Thank you, and thank you guys for watching today. See you on the next episode. Please don't forget to like and subscribe this video. Or either way, bye.
Bye.